The day my school's dress code almost done me. We had this thing called a professional learning environment dress code, which sounds normal until you realize our principal, Mrs. Garrett, treated it like holy scripture she wrote herself. The woman had power fantasies. Girls had to submit a mirror selfie of our outfits every single morning through this stupid app before we could even get in the building. If she didn't approve, your app flashed red and boom, redirected to the nurse's office for the punishment uniform. Everyone knew the shame sweats. Thick gray sweatpants and a sweatshirt with dress code violations stamped on you like you were a defective product. And of course, the boys were basically showing up in pajama bottoms and DIY crop tops made out of ripped tank tops. But that was apparently athletic. Meanwhile, a girl's shoulder might end society as we know it. Mrs. Garrett patrolled the halls like some kind of fashion cop drill sergeant, iPad in one hand, ruler in the other. She'd measure skirt lengths, take pictures, log infractions like she was collecting baseball cards. 3 of those and you got suspension plus a note on your record. Rumor was she used to be in the military. If true, she definitely missed her calling as head of uniform inspection. I had managed to survive 2 years without a single violation by dressing like a background character in a 90s grunge movie. Hoodies and baggy jeans even when it was 95 degrees and humid enough to chew the air. It wasn't just to avoid the shame sweats. I'm type 1 diabetic and my insulin pump sits on my stomach. The last thing I needed was Mrs. Garrett deciding my medical device was midriff exposure. So I learned to do everything discreetly. Change tubing under my sweatshirt, check numbers through pockets, time everything between classes so I didn't draw attention. My mom works 12-hour EMT shifts. Getting sent home wasn't an option. The unspoken household rule was basically, don't create problems we can't afford to fix. And then, the week before the SAT, my pump decided to ruin my life. Halfway through a chem quiz, it buzzed, occlusion alarm, tubing kinked, insulin not getting through. My CGM said 380 and rising. For reference, 400 is, you're about to enter diabetic ketoacidosis, and 500 is, you might actually die today. I asked to go to the bathroom and basically sprinted out. Girls' bathroom, closed for cleaning. Nurse's office, full of girls in line for shame sweats. Accessible single stall, locked. My vision was already getting that weird vignette darkening like I was in a dramatic movie scene. I ducked into an empty science lab, dropped my bag on a table, yanked my hoodie up, peeled off the busted infusion set, and was mid-stab with the replacement needle when the door swung open. In walked Mrs. Garrett, with a whole group of school board members. A tour. We made eye contact. Me, shirt halfway up, tubing everywhere, pump screaming. Her, with her perfect bob, and the expression of someone who just found proof of teenage degeneracy. This, she said to the board, all bright and performative, is the behavior I've been warning you about. Girls exposing themselves for attention. I swear my brain short-circuited. It's my insulin pump, I said. I'm going into DKA. I need a minute. She told me to cover myself immediately and started taking photos, actual photos, of my medical emergency. My pump beeped. 425. I explained again, slurring a little this time. Not a great sign. One of the board members, a silver-haired woman, stepped forward and asked if that was an insulin pump. Mrs. Garrett literally said, she's lying. At that point, I was sweating, dizzy, and trying really hard not to pass out in front of the school board. But she just kept insisting I was being manipulative and ordered me to her office. And because I'd spent my whole life being the good kid, I stupidly followed her. She made me sit there 20 minutes while she typed up a violation form. Indecent exposure. Defiant. My pump kept shrieking. I kept asking for the nurse. She kept telling me I'd face consequences for trying to make excuses. By the time she finally sent me to the nurse, my blood sugar was 510. The nurse took one look, heard the alarm, and immediately called 911. I remember the sirens, my mom's voice somewhere above me, and then nothing. I woke up 3 days later in the ICU with tubes in my arms, and my mom still in her EMT uniform, looking like she hadn't slept since 1998. The doctor told me my blood had acidified, my organs were starting to shut down, and if I'd gone another half hour, I could have had brain damage or worse. Click the full story to see what happened next.